Hello, community. How are you doing today? Hello, Vitor. How are you
Hello,
feeling?
Hugo. I'm feeling really good. Really, really good. Really happy with the results. Really happy with everything that happened in the last 14 days. I'm really happy. Really
Amazing,
excited. Yeah.
amazing. First of all, I have to thank you all for being here with us. And I know that some of you potentially are not able to attend this due to time zone difference and due to the fact that a lot of people are working currently at this time. But I'm sure a lot of you will watch this later on. So I really appreciate you watching and spending time with us. And of course, as you know, the context of this call is to talk about the Cloud Ideathon 21, the experience we had, the amazing experience, and of course, do the official closing with the announcement of the winner, and also show the amazing solution and amazing work that these guys did. So you are aware, and so you can as well know about the solution they designed. Before we proceed with the details of this year, I think I would like to just spend a few minutes talking about Ideathon with you, because I think it's relevant for the ones that are not familiar with the Ideathon. Um, I would like to just share the history of this initiative with you. So, see, essentially, as you know, we are the Cloud Lunch and Learn group, just a group of IT professionals, a diverse group based in different places all over the world, with different profiles, different nationalities. So, and we have been working to deliver community initiatives to the community to help the community learn about the clouds. We have been doing the weekly sessions, but as you know, learning the theory is not enough, because sometimes we really need to also apply the theory so we can build our skills and build our expertise. So, given that, we decided to create this challenge, the Ideathon. And some of us in the team, we are familiar with hackathons. So we decided to try to create something more inclusive, because as you know, the hackathon typically most of the time you spend implementing solutions, and the fact is not everyone can implement and know how to implement solutions and develop and code. So we just decided to create the Ideathon, which is a challenge focused on the design of the solution to solve a real world problem. So we had the first edition last year, back in October, if I'm not wrong, and we had a collaboration with a PhD project based in Ireland. The project is called Memory Heaven. If you want to follow up online, you will find a lot of information. Also, you have all the videos about the previous edition in our YouTube channel, so you can find relevant information about the challenge as well there. But essentially, this project, just to briefly share with you, the main goal is to build an application that helps people with dementia overcome their daily challenges, including the loss of memory, and also the risks that they face in terms of heart attack and strokes and more. So it was an amazing challenge. It was our first edition, of course. So we had some limitations in terms of the participation, but the most important thing is at the end, the participants we had, everyone was happy, because everyone felt that they also, um, besides the fact that they were practicing and learning and building skills in the cloud, they were contributing for something real and valuable to the society. Okay, so and of course now this year we have the Cloud Ideathon 21, and in this case I would like to ask Vitor to share some details with you in relation to the edition of this year.
Thank you, Hugo. Yeah. For sure, one of the things from the last year was like our debutant year. Yeah. So was your first event. So a lot of, let's say, lessons learned that we make a lot of difference for this idea, Tom, from 2021, right? So For this year event, we brought to work, how can I say, a challenge that comes from the Middle East. And more specific, we brought the challenge from Bahrain. This project is called Bahrain Air Quality. And this project is one of the winners of an AI Hackfest hosted by Bahrain Polytechnic. How huge is that, right? So someone that put a lot of effort already, and he is ready to commit and do the next steps on top of that. So the owners of this project, which is amazing as well, is two amazing ladies, Shayman Almir and Shura Hassan. And of course, they will give an award in a minute. Okay, they talk about the projects, talk about themselves, and so on. And one thing that I like to highlight that's really different from the last year. So instead of using a single weekend so teams can work together. So the teams that participate this year can imagine right now, look, if I had just a single weekend at this time, I was totally screwed. So that's why we think about why not make the things different? Why not expand this time frame, give the team some space to work in their own pace? And what they did was to work in their own pace for around 14 days inside of the solution design. And to help with that, what we did as well, we brought some technical and business code from Microsoft that was there to support those teams in the journey, answer technical questions, answer questions related to business, how can I handle and overcome those challenges and so on. Okay, I can say that one of the things that was the most challenge, at least for us from the organization itself, was about pick a winner. Pick a winner was one of the hardest thing. Yeah. So because it was a really challenge quest because there's no unique solution, to be honest. There's no unique solution design. Sometimes it's about the style. Sometimes it's the way that the current technology that, let's say, the hype of the moment and so on. And what we saw was this variety of this different solution designs, every single one bring some kind of knowledge of the things, but all the ones using as a foundation the well-architected framework, right? And what this team delivered to was a high quality material, to be honest. So that's why it was so hard to bring just a single winner. Okay. One thing that I like to say, I'm more than proud of the participants of the team automation, specifically of the team Avengers, of the team tenants. So a great, amazing work. Congratulations. Be proud of yourself. Okay. Also, I cannot leave behind all the support provided by our sponsors, Microsoft and Headgate on this. Was huge. I'd like to say thank you so much for this. And for me, for the Cloud and Learn team, I will give you the word in a second, Varis, because it's special. It's from the bottom of my heart. It's from the Cloud and Learn team. It's important to mention a special person. And for me, it's even special. Yes, it's you, Juarez, at seeing the screen here. Thank you so much for helping us, not just bring the Microsoft as a sponsorship, also be the key person in providing ideas, helping overcome challenges. You are a true leader for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Victor. Thanks for the gentle introduction. Yes, this event, the Cloud Ideathon, is an event that we look forward every year. We started last year and we supported the very first event, and this year again, and it's amazing to see the great solutions that the participants created and also the winning team. So, of course, I'm more than happy to support this event.
I think we are facing some issues. Yeah.
So thanks again, and let me hand it over back to you.
Juarez, can we ask you to repeat the last one, because I think your connection just break.
Yes, no, yeah, okay. Let me try again. Yes, no, I just wanted to thank you again for the opportunity to sponsor the event and participate, and I can.
Yeah, happen for you.
yes. The connection is kind of dropping. Juarez, your connection is kind of dropping in the middle of your speech.
Apologies. Let me double check here.
No worries. In the meantime, while
it looks okay now. It looks okay now. Yes, I can draw my speech to a close. I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to participate in the sponsored event this year again. And I'm looking forward to the great presentation by the winning team today. and let me hand it over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Juarez. Just
Yeah.
1 minute. I just want to definitely highlight one thing. Definitely, it's important to highlight that the consistent support that we have from Microsoft. This is really important because none of this community work is possible to do without the support of the companies. Okay, so it's really valuable and really important. And I really appreciate the team. Really appreciates your support. Because without your support, we can't do anything of this. So if we want to build, in my personal opinion, if we want to build a stronger community and a stronger way to enable the community to grow together, we definitely need to encourage more the support of the different companies, to support the different community groups and the different community initiatives available. So I really appreciate, you are a great example of what other companies should do. Thank you.
Likewise,
you.
Hugo, you guys were doing a phenomenal job with the community. So congratulations again.
That's great. Thank you so much, Juarez. So without further ado, I'd like to bring to the stage Shema, because she, the owner of this project, and every single person is looking forward to talk and understand about who is her, how she came up with this idea, and talk, of course, about the project itself, and even provide some guidance as the next steps for this project. Shema, can you talk a little bit about the Bahrain Air Pilot for us?
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you, Vector. Firstly, before I start, I'd like to thank every single person who has worked really hard to bring this project to the Cloud Ideathon. It's been our absolute pleasure. So the project was actually it actually started between me and my colleague, who is Sagra Hassan. It started when we first joined the AI Academy at Bahrain Polytechnic, which was in collaboration with Microsoft again. We were studying things related to Microsoft in relation to data science and artificial intelligence for almost 1 year. And we were lucky enough to even have the ability to pass the exams of the Azure, Microsoft Azure. And luckily, myself and Sagra are also Microsoft certified as AI engineers and data scientists. And it's something that we should really be proud of. Other than that, what happened was we had the AI Hack Fest back in March, I suppose. And it was, again, a collaboration between Microsoft, Bahrain Polytechnic, and it was held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa in Bahrain, and we were one of the winners who won the AI Hackfest. So to talk about more about Bahrain AQ, where the idea came from, actually. Myself and Sagra have been participating in different hackathons and hackfests, and we always try to find real solutions to real world issues, and that are not only in Bahrain, but let's say the solution will also aid in solving real different parts of the world issues. As we know, pollution is not only based in Bahrain, but the focus was Bahrain because the Hackfest was regarding Bahrain, but it can also be applied in various countries in the world. So basically, air pollution, as you all know, it's been an issue that most of the countries have been facing, and which also leads to climate change. So there have been a lot of events, a lot of speeches in regards to climate change. And this does not only affect us right now, but it's a long-term issue that we need to actually mitigate right now and also try to solve for the next upcoming generations. I would say Bahrain is polluted due to two things, I would say. First of all, we highly rely on vehicles. So we do not use we do not have trains, we do not have we do not ride bicycles actually to go to work, unlike other countries in Europe. So we highly rely on vehicles such as cars. So every single individual in Bahrain has 1 or 2 cars. It's unbelievable, but yeah, you can imagine the amount of pollution. So we do have buses, we do have trucks for transportation, like exports and imports. We have also a highway that connects Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. So we have a lot of people coming in to Bahrain during weekends from Saudi Arabia. So the amount of pollution is really high. And in order to mitigate this risk, we decided that we actually measure the amount of pollutions that happen in Bahrain. And this wasn't an easy task, but I would say it was a little bit challenging because Bahrain is very tiny in comparison to other countries. So we went to different governorates in Bahrain in different cities. And if I say different cities, I don't mean like each city takes 2 to 3 hours. No. If I start from the like furthest section in Bahrain till the last, it won't take me like 1 hour. So Bahrain's really tiny. So what happened was that we got our own air quality sensors, and we went to each and every governorate in order to measure the amount of pollution. And that was the data acquisition method that we had. And from there, we started analyzing the data that we had. We also used satellite imageries in order to investigate and have a look into how, or let's say, which governorate or which cities had a lot of greenery or agriculture. So we had a hypothesis that we wanted to prove, and we were able to prove that. And I would say that also the National Space Science Agency in Bahrain had a really good aid. They aided us really well in this regard. So the hypothesis was proved after being able to analyze all the data acquired and after analyzing the satellite imagery. And from there, we came up with, we researched regarding which plants would benefit the Kingdom of Bahrain the most, as it being a very humid and warm country. And we noticed that there are certain kinds of trees which are called the neem tree. They're really good for Bahrain's atmosphere and the level of humidity that we have. Actually, in Bahrain, we have like only 100 of neem trees which were given to Bahrain as a gift from India. So we did certain calculations on our own, which was very challenging. And then we used Microsoft Azure as to build our prediction system. We embedded all the data that we had after cleansing it and everything. We kept it in. The aim was that we did not want Bahrain to spend money on something that might not give us the impact or the effect that we need. So what the Microsoft Azure prediction system did was, the moment we just embed the concentration of CO2, it would give us the number of neem trees we needed per area, which was amazing. And with this, we do not need to put a lot of trees. So let's say if a certain governorate has had X amount of concentration of CO2, let's say we will put just 5 trees and it will be enough. This will help also the government of Bahrain to understand how many trees we need. So instead of buying 20 and putting them there, 5 would do the job. So this was a great initiative, and And Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad also agreed that he wanted this project to happen in Bahrain because of climate change, because of the pollution. So Microsoft aided us a lot during the process. Vector and Hugo were with us throughout the process. We had also our colleagues from Bahrain Polytechnic. They were all in and they actually wanted to make a difference into the world. And the project came into Cloud Ideathon, and today we're here to see what you guys worked on and what kind of solutions do you have, design solutions you have. And we're really happy that you also guys would like to do a difference in the world, because like I said, this project can start in Bahrain, but it could be implemented all over the world, and we could all work together to make an actual difference and to try to mitigate the risk and this certain issue for the next generations. So thank you everyone for your participation, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing your presentations today, and congratulations to the winning team.
Shema, again, it's amazing. Heard about this again. I think I heard that like a couple months ago during the AI Hack Fest in the Bahrain Polytechnic, and it was an amazing pitch, someone that captured our attention as well. And also one thing that I'd like to mention that, guys, if there's someone that you're looking for this kind of interest and innovative kind of project, you should looking for a Shema across the social media. She always doing nice in posts and some bringing really nice ideas across different competitions. The last one I was really discussed with her about as well. So she had a lot of this good and nice project, and you should get in touch with her and talk with her about this. Okay, Shema, again, amazing her from your side, what your perspective, what you brought to us. Thank you so much for the participation. Okay.
Thank you, Shema. Really appreciate.
Thank you, Hugo and Vector.
Thank you once again. And definitely see, before we, of course, proceed to announce the winner, because that's one of the most important announcements here today, and also, of course, the presentation of their amazing solution. I just want to, as Vitor mentioned before, I just want to highlight that, see, the focus of this challenge is definitely not finding a winner, because all the participants here participating, they are all winners. Okay, the most important thing is bring the community together, but collaborate all together, learn some skills and build some skills and expertise in the clouds, enhance their CVs, but also create value to the society. Okay, so that means by participating in this challenge and solving real world problems, they have a chance to really contribute and create value to the society. So I want to definitely thank all the participants in this challenge. We had three amazing teams participating in this challenge. Unfortunately, and also I take this moment to just share with you, the community, how important it is to take and proceed with the compromise whenever you sign up for these community events. So we had 50 people registered to participate in these events. Unfortunately, only 10 people showed up, and from the 10, we also had issues with 3 of the people that just dropped the participation without any notice to the organizers. Okay, so why this is important? So what I'm saying is, of course, we all have unexpected events, and sometimes we sign up to things and we actually can't make it. But ultimately, I believe it's all good as long as you just inform the organizers, that you no longer can participate in the given community event that you signed up. But if you don't inform, apart from the fact that it's much more complex for the organizers to organize the event and make things work, you are also sometimes impacting negatively the teams and the people participating in those challenges. So, for example, in those 3 teams that we had participating in this challenge, at the end, 2 of the teams end up just participating in the challenge with only 2 people, instead of the 3 original people. So that means then the people, or they work harder and they make more hours to compensate the lack of one member in the team, or they end up just delivering something that is incomplete, and consequently cause frustration to those people, and consequently they lose the opportunity as well to build something better than they did. You know what I mean? So ultimately, I want to say, for this edition, definitely we have been following the work that they did. All of the participants are big winners on this. They did an amazing job, but unfortunately, see, we cannot select all winners, and we have to definitely distinguish one team here. So in this case, we decided to distinguish this team because they did an amazing job, and they did um, pretty much a more complete solution than in comparison with the other teams, but without, of course, questioning the performance of the other teams, because definitely they did an amazing job. And of course, I will not talk any longer, so I will let Vitor just proceed with the announcement of the winners and the introduction. So Vitor, are you happy to proceed?
Yes, for sure. I think the team that's the winner is really excited to be here, and I don't think we can prolong this enough. Yeah, make it even more tense. Yeah.
Just one side note, all the information about the teams, including their contacts, all the information about the challenge, everything is available on the website. So if you want to learn more about the challenge, you have available on our website, so cloudlunchandlearn.com, and then you have there the Ideathon.
Yeah, amazing. So without further ado, I'm happy really to announce that the winner team, the drummers, it's happening. The winner team is the automation team. So guys, congratulations. Let me add you here to the stream. Okay, we have Toshik, we have Desiree, Aizel. Guys, congratulations. I said this yesterday for you. I'm really proud of the solutions that we delivered. And for sure, we had a lot of good solutions, but you guys, what you guys deliver, what you guys present are outstanding. Outstanding presentation, outstanding organization, outstanding way of thinking. Even our interactions was like great about this. Was really a pleasure. I can carry you guys from my team right now and work with me. I need someone like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great presentation. Guys, I will not talk about too much. I will just switch over to you. You go and present the solution design, talk about your experience. We are really looking forward to this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. We are Automation Squad, and my name is Isa. I'm working as an automation analyst in an insurance company based and operated in New Zealand. Me and my rest of the team is from New Zealand. It's currently 6 a.m. here, so we are excited to kick off. I'll let my other teammates to introduce themselves, then we will start our presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Isol. I'm Desiree. I'm a software developer for Tower Insurance.
Hi there, I'm Toshki. I'm also a software dev. I work with Desiree and Isol in New Zealand, and I hope you enjoy our presentation.
Thank you, Toshiki and Desiree. Living in an environment that have clean air is one of the basic rights of every human being. So we are happy to that we are with our customer. We are with our business. We are contributing towards improving the air quality. While we are doing that, we had to take into consideration 3 important points. One of them was the minimizing the cost. So opposite to traditional business models that requires high capital expenses, we are taking advantage of cloud environment and heavily invest on our operational expenses. So while Microsoft will be our partner that provide us data centers, infrastructure, and their maintenance, we will be investing on our operational cost. In this way, with our business model, we will be able to satisfy all the business requirements with minimum effort and fee. We will be explaining more in depth about the cost optimization pillar just in a little bit. The second point is that how we would monetize our business. So we will use a premium subscription model. We will be charging our target audience for ongoing licensing, where they will have access to predictions data that is beyond 1 to 4 hours, query and access our APIs, and receive continuous technical support along the way. In total, 16 customer subscription will be able to cover our operational cost for the entire year, given that each license will cost about 10,000 US dollars. The third point is that our main target audiences, which will be Bahrain government and large to medium enterprises that are operating in Bahrain. Bahrain government have been very conscious about improving the air quality for its citizens, so they have a department that is specifically dedicated for protection of environment, which named the Supreme Council for Environment. They have been actively working on improvement of air quality for last couple of decades. But also when we consider the negative impacts of decreasing air quality, we think that Ministry of Health will be interested collaborating with us, as the matter of bad air quality will impact on citizens' health and causes health problems like asthma or even something more serious like cancer, like lung cancers. And according to Statista 2018, in Bahrain, there are 167 large enterprises and above 1,000 to medium-sized enterprises operating currently. Knowing this, Ministry of Industry and enterprises might be interested with our business, since enterprises, one of the biggest potential cause of increasing the air pollution. To neutralize the negative impact they are causing, they will be interested to collaborate with our business. In recent years, many global enterprises change their marketing policy and make it more environmentally friendly. In this way, they contribute towards environment's good and reduce the damage they're causing by the organization. For this reason, we thought they would be a good potential target audiences for our business. Well, the rapid development of artificial intelligence and data used has enormous potential for benefits, but equally a significant possibility of causing harm. The main concerns with decision-making with artificial intelligence come with the misuse of personally identifiable information. The sensitivity of personally identifiable information means that applications required to store and use it are susceptible to ethical concerns if such data is stolen or misused. So there are also identified privacy risks. If data is not secured, it may lead privacy infringement and long-term persistent surveillance, compromising anonymity for users of artificial intelligence applications. But may be also difficult to conceptualize without the context of what is being tracked in terms of accuracy. The largely unregulated nature of artificial intelligence application creates concerns about privacy protection and usage of personally identifiable data. In our solution, we are actually leveraging two features of artificial intelligence. However, in our case, we do not require any personal identifiable data that causes personal information breach concerns. The satellite data that measures pollutant does not interfere with personal identifiable data. Leveraging this information, we will be preparing an informed consent to send our target audiences and customers as a form prior to our release, which have all the details very transparently from how the satellite will be used, stored, and removed. And in security pillar, we will be discussing even more in depth how we ensure security for the data that we collected more in depth. So what are we trying to solve with this challenge is that how can you use Sentinel satellite to measure pollutant level and integrate this real time with values with Azure. Now Desiree will talk us through our solution architecture.
Awesome. Thanks, Ice. So before I get into the solution design architecture, I would just like to let you know about a few assumptions that we've made. So one is that we're going to have 3 different environments. We have dev, test, and prod. And we have also selected UAE North as our main region because it's the closest region to Bahrain. And also our backup region is Central India. Now, if we just zoom into the left-hand side, you'll see that we were required to basically figure out how to host the web app using Azure services. So in this case, we're using app service, and we've chosen this because we can use it for hosting our function apps as well, which will act as our microservices. And in order to connect to our microservices from the client side, we need to have a gateway. And for this, what we're doing is that we're combining application gateway, as well as API management. We've done it this way because although API management is great for managing APIs, it does not give the feature of being able to load balance. And that's exactly what application gateway is for, because if you were to just use API management on its own, you're going to have to use a reverse proxy. And with application gateway, also gives another layer of security because it has that web application firewall. And in order to integrate this two, we needed to create a virtual network between them as well. This allows internal and external clients to be able to access the microservices. Now, if you move to the middle, you'll be able to see that we have the mobile and web microservices. These are our backends for front ends. And the reason why we have created 2, one for web and one for mobile, is so that we can future-proof it, because we all know that everything has basically a mobile app nowadays. And as much as possible, like we try to have loosely coupled architecture. This is because we all know that the visualization and the content for web and mobile are usually very different, and we just don't want them to be tightly coupled. You'll be able to see this pattern as well on the right. So if you can see the APIs, we have separated the visualization API from the backend APIs, and this is because we want separation of concern. And if one microservice goes down, then the other microservices do not get affected. Now you can also see that the dataset API is the one that's connected to the Sentinel API, which will give us the raw data for air pollution, as well as air quality in Bahrain and other geographic locations. And all this raw data will be sent to a data store, which is Cosmos DB. Now, Cosmos DB will be the data source for Machine Learning Studio, as well as Power BI. Power BI will be used for visualization. So if we just move to the right a little bit, we'll be able to see Power BI as our visualization and Azure Machine Learning for data modeling. Now, we do have a few caveats for this solution. One is that we're using Cosmos DB because Cosmos DB integrated cache. So this is currently in public preview. And this is great because it already has an inbuilt caching mechanism. And also we'll be using Machine Learning Studio Classic for the machine learning part. Even though we know that in 2024 it'll be discontinued, we're hoping that by that time they will be able to use Cosmos DB as a data source, because right now that's the only version of machine learning that can connect to Cosmos DB. If we go just down a little bit, you'll be able to see that alerting, monitoring, and telemetry will be done using application insights, Azure Monitor, to be able to send alerts to our DevSecOps team. Now, I would also like to say that this solution is not just specific to the Kingdom of Bahrain. What's good about this is that it's transferable to any country in the world. The only thing you need to modify is the region that you've selected to host your infrastructure. Now, if we move on to operational excellence, we just want to stress that we're not just focusing on DevOps, we're focusing on DevSecOps, and we want to make sure that we involve both security and ops throughout the whole process. So early on in the design phase, in the development phase, and in the delivery phase. And we want to make sure that we also practice solid principles with strong emphasis on loosely coupled architecture, like what I mentioned before. And this also enables different teams to independently test, deploy, and update their work on demand without depending on other teams for support or approvals. Now, we also want to automate the deployment of services and CI/CD pipelines using infrastructure as code. So we're doing this using ARM templates and YAML. This also allows for infrastructure to be easily deployed in a different region in case of a disaster. Now, some Azure services, such as App Service, only offer zone redundancy when deployed using ARM templates. Hence, the reason why we really want to emphasize on infrastructure as code. Any secret variables will also be stored in Azure DevOps and loaded during runtime, which applies to the external configuration store pattern that we're trying to follow. We're also going to be using storing code using Azure Repo for version control and keeping track of all the releases. Workloads will be staged and deployed using a blue-green deployment model. And as mentioned before, telemetry and monitoring of operational health will be done using application insights in Azure Monitor. Now, frequent automated testing, penetration testing, and load testing in non-production environments will also be done before the release to production to ensure operational excellence. Now, if we move on to performance efficiency, we made sure that we have strong emphasis on scalability, caching, as well as load balancing. And we will implement this using PaaS offerings that have built-in scaling operations. So for example, we're using App Service, and in order to scale up, we just need to change the pricing tier. Or if we want to scale out, we just need to add more capacity as needed. This concept goes the same way for Azure Monitor, Function Apps, as well as other Azure services that we have chosen, and they all support auto scaling, which comes in very handy. Now, as mentioned previously, Application Gateway is a load balancer, and this helps with routing incoming traffic. And we are also implementing a cache-aside pattern for Cosmos DB, so we don't have to query the Sentinel API as much and to store the data every time a client request is received. Furthermore, APIM also offers caching, which reduces the chattiness between the microservices. And similarly, Power BI Embedded offers query caching, which speeds up the reports of our dataset. Now, to ensure sufficient capacity, once APIM reaches 60% to 70% for a long period of time, say around 30 minutes, we can scale it by adding more units and removing them when not in use. This minimizes the possibility of downtime. We will also make use of load testing to understand the system's behavior during different levels of load and scale accordingly. Since we are using Cosmos DB, we can auto-scale provision throughput on databases and containers. This should not impact the availability, latency, throughput, or performance of the workload. Now, I would like to pass this on to Aysel to talk about reliability.
Thank you, Desiree. When we wanted to create a solution architecture that is resilient, highly available, recover fast from disaster, and highly fault tolerant, so we did a failure mode analysis and we identified a Sentinel API as a single point of failure. So if it becomes unavailable, it will affect our microservices, which we don't want. To mitigate this, we are storing our data in Cosmos DB as our data store for Power BI and Azure Machine Learning. And Cosmos DB already provides replication of data, and we are also using two different regions that North UA and Central India, which Desiree already mentioned, covers us for disaster recovery as well as fault tolerance in terms of being highly available. API management and function apps will take advantage of retry policies for failed requests. Application Insight and Azure Monitor will also be used for logging telemetry, which will help, but troubleshooting exceptions and errors. Any failures or warnings will be sent to DevOps as notification or email, so we can closely monitor and immediately resolve any issues that we are facing. To ensure networking, we decided to use an application gateway for load balancing. This means when the network traffic increase or decrease, it will be able to balance workload evenly. And in terms of connectivity reliability for API management, there will be a standby service in one or more regions to use it as backup and restore. We have also used Power BI and machine learning for our visualization, and we are quite confident in high availability and built-in resiliency features for these services, as they have quite impressive SLAs. So the risk comparatively low to the cost. If there is an outage in the region, Power BI automatically fails all its components in that region to backup instance. Usually the failover restores availability in a new region, like mainly in the same geographical location. For Azure ML, we will deploy critical components to multiple regions so that we can continue work by manually pointing to a secondary workspace when the primary workspace is unavailable. Now, Toshiki will talk about our security.
Thanks, Aisel. So in terms of security, we have an Azure Application Gateway Web Application Firewall. This firewall protects from common attacks such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and cookie poisoning. The gateway will mask our microservice network and provide a single endpoint for the client. This reduces our dependencies and simplifies security measures. It will also authenticate each call using an API key, which we will store in an API in a key vault. The gateway also allows us to shift the responsibility for SSL protocols onto the gateway to establish consistency. Rate limiting is another feature of the gateway which can protect against DDoS attacks. We've also included an API manager in our design to handle security policies such as whitelisting. The APIM will also require any published APIs to have a key. For governance, some of the key initiatives will be to monitor traffic using Azure Monitor, requiring multi-factor authentication, using built-in roles, and running regular attack simulations. Our data store, Cosmos DB, contains automatic encryption of data at rest using keys managed by Microsoft. We can also use our own custom keys for a second layer of security, which we can store in our key vault. We will protect our critical accounts using managed Microsoft accounts, where we have a zero trust policy and a strict account lifecycle management as the business scales up. Using just enough access and just enough time policies, we can minimize risk exposure for our critical accounts. The first trade-off that we considered was cost, where dev and test environments wouldn't have as extensive security as production would have. The other was in terms of operational efficiency, where security would be tailored across different IT teams, so collaboration would not be hindered. Moving on to cost optimization. Since we had no cost constraint given by the challenge, we first considered our high-level design based on functional requirements. Then we narrowed down to specific Azure services to see where the cost can be optimized. To optimize cost, again, we have minimized the cost in our dev and test environments. This is because these environments only need to be available to our internal teams, whereas production will be available to our external users. This means we can focus our security efforts more to production. We're also using auto scaling so that we can scale out and in as requirements change, so we only pay for what we consume. Infrastructure as code and CI/CD pipelines will be used to ensure resources are provisioned correctly and pricing tiers are configured correctly as well. Our main data store will be Cosmos DB, and to save costs, we will not use historical data, but rather call it from the Sentinel API instead, as needed. Azure Advisor and Azure Cost Management will be used to create regular reports to see trends in our expenses and allow us to identify cost spikes. This will also allow us to continuously optimize services to minimize costs. Alerts can be set as well for cost thresholds that we define. Another trade-off was operational excellence, where the initial cost might be higher, but is cheaper long-term, as we effectively handle disasters and security incidents. Overall, our costs come to about 150,000 US dollars per year. Moving on to the additional considerations. If we had more time, we would have liked to do some more market research and design a business lean canvas to better develop our business model by understanding which companies and individuals would be interested in our initiative. Another consideration we thought about was the ethical challenge when using the system globally, and what kind of issues might arise when using data gathered from other countries. Moving on to our overall experience. We've all had an amazing experience, and one of the things I found was that doing the Ideathon was very motivating. This was our first experience in an Ideathon or hackathon, and I found it really motivating to continue to get involved with events like this and really get immersed into the tech industry. Sometimes it's easy for regular dev work to get monotonous, so events like this really reignites our passion in what we do.
Right. And on top of that, it was such a valuable learning experience being able to consider different aspects of architecting a cloud solution that we don't usually think of as end users. For example, trade-offs, security, performance, etc. It's something that we can definitely take away and apply in our careers.
And also, we love the fact that this Ideathon was creating a solution to an important real-life problem that threatened all of us seriously today. Although we specifically implement this for Bahrain, the plan was always to implement it globally. We felt that we are making a huge contribution to a serious long-term issue for a very good cause and saving the environment that we are living in. This encouraged us even work harder to find the best possible solution.
Yeah, so we really encourage anyone and everyone to participate in the next Ideathon. In conclusion, thank you for listening to our presentation. We would like to thank Hugo and Victor for being extremely helpful during our project as mentors. We'd also like to thank the organizers and collaborators, as well as the sponsors Microsoft and Redgate, for giving us this awesome learning opportunity.
Amazing, guys. I'm just adding here Victor as well. So I just want to say, listen, it's clear, it's clear, and for everyone after your presentation, how brilliant you did and the amazing job you did. And I also want to highlight, because it's really important. Sometimes sometimes on these community events, people feel a bit afraid because they don't have they feel that they don't have enough experience or enough skills to do things. And what I want to say is, see, this kind of event is open to everyone. Doesn't matter what the level of skills or experience you have, and you should not be afraid, because ultimately, as far as I know, it's your first time participating in this kind of event. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, I attended several presentations, including senior people presenting, and I consider your presentation better than some of the senior presentations I attended before. So I definitely think that you guys should be proud of yourselves. And as I used to say, see, we don't born with skills, okay? We born with competencies to build skills. But in order to build skills, we need to practice, and community initiatives and community events, it's one of the best ways that you can use to practice and build your skills, because that means you are having fun, you are connecting with new people, you are meeting new people, community members, and also you are somehow contributing to the society, and you are practicing and building your skills in the cause. Yeah. So for you guys, thank you so much. I'm really pleased with your presentation. I hope that you can have a chance to take this to the next level, and maybe build here some kind of collaboration with Shame as well and our team to definitely make this real, you know. So taking this to the next level and maybe implementing something to definitely mitigate the issue that we face in terms of pollution.
Awesome.
I don't know if
much.
Victor wants to
Thanks
say
so
something.
I would just to say thank you. I think it was an amazing event. You worked so hard. Be proud of yourselves. And one thing that I'm looking forward is your connection with Shema, so you guys can discuss this further. If you're really interested to continue with this project, I think from her side, she's really looking forward for this as well. So I will send her LinkedIn profile. Guys can connect and start this conversation.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll definitely get in touch. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Get in touch and let me know all the steps along the way, okay?
And yeah, now we just need to celebrate and relax a bit, because I imagine that it was really tough for you guys as well to participate in this challenge, given the time zone difference. As this team mentioned, they are based in New Zealand, so many times we were talking to them around 11 p.m., midnight, or even 6 a.m. As you can imagine, now it's pretty much 7 a.m. there. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the pain point of of the accomplishments that we have with this kind of events. Sometimes
Definitely.
it's not only good things. We need to pay some cost as well. But ultimately, I think you guys did an amazing job. Now, I have to say from my side, I see you next year on the next Ideathon. Keep tuned, because we are going to do a short break here in December and January for our weekly sessions, to give some time for the team as well to just relax and enjoy time with family and Christmas. But we have, as you know, before our Ideathon in 2022, we have our marathon coming, and this time it will be possibly a hybrid conference. That means you will have a chance to meet some of us somewhere in the world. We didn't define locations yet, but if you are not able to fly and attend the conference, definitely you meet us virtually as well, because we will definitely support both models, in person and virtually. And given that, I have to say a big thank you to everyone attending us and watching us, following us. All your support is really important, because without your support, we can't make it as well. And consequently, feel free to share with your contacts, with your friends, with your colleagues. Invite them to join us as well, so we can all be together and have fun while learning about clouds. And I don't know if you guys want to say anything before we wrap up.
Yeah, just thank you. It was a fantastic experience. Definitely keen to continue with the project and join the next Ideathon.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward for the next one.
Same here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And listen, we don't have questions here, but we have a lot of positive message for you guys. People here congratulating you guys on YouTube, apparently. Yeah. So for everyone watching this, feel free to connect with these guys, connect with this team. And yes, let's keep in touch and have fun while we learn about cloud and build our expertise in the clouds. Okay.
Thank you, Hugo. Amazing event. Thank you, guys. Amazing.
Thank you.
See you next.
All right. Have a good day,
Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.